Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the second hour. Jeff, Wheat, what are you guys eating?
Yeah,
What is that?
food,
What,
yummy food.
So this is what I was talking about when I
what's in the
said
Twitch offices today?
wheat's going to put on weight. This is
I'm
just
doing
amazing
good
Mexican
still.
food. It's just like handmade taco bar.
We went out there. They literally were like, "Shit, they open up dinner at 5." I'm like, "How much time is left on the stream timer?" It's like 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm like, "We just have to go out there." So
We
the
can do it.
servers are like lifting the trays off, and we're just behind them with plates, like just waiting.
Yeah,
to...
we did that. We did the same thing when we were there for the when we did our role play at Twitch.
Yeah, I was like, "Okay, just God, can you open this fucking tortillas faster, please? Like, I've got a show to do."
Yeah.
And but we got wonderful food.
We got wonderful food.
And it might not have been there when we got out. So
Proletarians of the chat, witness here your techno bourgeoisie,
Yep.
your overlords, and their free food.
hey, you know what? Having worked for a company where I went off site for an hour every single day, like it's amazing the amount of connections and work you can do when you don't realize you're even doing it. Like everyone stays in, you're constantly in communication with every other department. It's pretty amazing. I got to say, like, it's a smart way to give people free food, right? Because it's just like you're just working for that hour and you don't even realize it. So,
I agree. Everything you said.
yeah.
So,
I'm taking notes.
meanwhile, in space, in the distant future. All right, so you guys are led by 616281466B to
Who?
only Prosper knows his nickname. 466B. He leads you to the like turbo lift banks that will take you to the captain's quarters, to the captain's like ready room, and his like he's got a little like sub deck that's his suite and stuff. You walk through the like cargo and docking hold, and much of what I said before. You see these like big robots walking around. You recognize the robots, Mr. Sicarian. They're actually retrofitted Charlemagne class like lander bots. So they're usually on ships that do like planetary assaults. So they'll drop those in first. But their arms have been retrofitted with like manipulators instead of the usual heavy machine guns.
Okay, and so cannons and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're moving equipment around, and there's the fighters as you walk past. You get to the main bank of elevators and head off to Mr. Ossuary's quarters.
Are the soldiers pretty normally equipped, like just body armor and stuff like that, not assault armor and that kind of thing?
Nobody on the ship is armored. No, they're all just wearing their uniforms.
Okay.
But you know these ships decently well, and somewhere like near the barracks, there's an armory where each one of these people would have their own suit of assault armor and energy weapons and what have you. So you guys are in the elevator right now with 616281466B, and he's pressed the button and is just kind of like arms folded, like looking at the wall.
Hicks, I don't have to remind you to fucking behave yourself, do you?
Miss Piani, I'm always on my best behavior. You know that. Don't try to embarrass me in front of everyone else here, please.
It's not me I'm worried about.
I'm sorry about that, sir. I know her dulcet tones can sometimes be an annoyance just by speaking. So I know. I'm sorry.
He doesn't. Yeah, Buckshot doesn't say anything.
Okay.
He's doing the like Buckingham Palace guard thing where he's just staring at the wall.
Yep.
All right. So so you arrive.
Was there music?
No, it's totally silent.
Okay, so it was totally awkward in the elevator.
Everything on the ship is spare, sparse, perfectly clean. It's a total contrast to being inside the Swan Song because it just smells like septic, like antiseptic.
What the fuck you saying?
Except for
the
one
Swan
room.
Song. The Swan Song
one
smells septic. It's very like tidy. Everything is in perfect order. You notice that all of the crates are aligned in perfect 90-degree angles with all the other crates, that kind of thing. But there's no ornamentation. Even the UI of the elevator is spare and minimalist. It's like a Bauhaus designed a spaceship. So it gets to the floor. The door opens, and immediately you smell like the first non solvent smell you smelled the whole time on the ship, and there's like a waft of like food smell. And inside you can see there's like a little kind of foyer area with some benches and some plants, and then a set of doors at the end that are open, and you can see in, and there's like a dining table and what looks like some like servants putting out food on the table. And 616281466B gestures and says to Prosper, enjoy your lunch.
His the final four are 466B.
Yeah, 466B is the last four digits. And
yeah, I say merci 466B.
He salutes.
And I continue on.
Do we all kind of catch that occurrence?
Yeah, he says he salutes and he's like, bon appetit.
Oh, okay.
It's
the French connection. I got it. I thought you guys knew each other, but no.
Nicely done. All right. So he actually doesn't come in with you. The elevator closes and it descends back into the turbolift tube. So you're out in the area here, and you can see the servants moving around, but no one's acknowledged you yet.
Okay, I'm standing there like with my hands behind my back crossed, and I'm just kind of like rocking back and forth on my tiptoes and stuff, waiting to be acknowledged.
Okay. Gianni just goes.
He's like, hey, free food.
Well, I mean, there's no one there to greet us.
No.
I go and sit down.
Okay. Yeah, you walk into the dining area, and at that point, one of the servants sees you. So they're all dressed in just plain kind of white tunics and pants with their sleeves rolled up, and they're setting out food. And one of them sees you, and says, "Yes, please sit. I will get." Excuse me. And he kind of beelines for another room. So the door opens and he disappears into the room.
So we're the only ones in the room?
Yeah, there's a long table. There's 4 seats on your side, and then one big ass hunting lodge chair. It's a big overstuffed 10-foot tall red velvet with antlers on top. It's a really ostentatious German hunting lodge throne basically on the other side of the table, with place settings in front of each.
Okay, I guess I sit down as well.
Okay.
In that seat, probably.
Yeah, I sit down at the head of the table.
Well, there isn't. The table is long, and it's one.
I sit
it's
at the biggest
desk.
chair.
So you want to take the big ass throne? Okay.
Yeah, I just sit down it's very.
Hold it.
All right. So the door, all right, Prosper, you gonna sit? Securian, you sitting?
Yeah, I sit next, the seat to the right of him or whatever.
I sit directly across from Monsieur Higgins.
Yeah, just to be clear, you all sit across from Higgins because the table is here. There's a big chair and there's 4 chairs on the other side.
Sure.
Yeah, but I'm directly across.
Okay, you're as directly across.
Yeah.
All right. So there's an
I
empty.
just sit down and I say, Monsieur Higgins, that is a very becoming shirt on you. And then I just smirk.
Your
That's
big
implied.
words aren't going to fool me today, Prosper. I'm on point.
Yes.
So the side door opens and you hear a voice. You hear, "Well, my guests have arrived." And you turn and look, and you see an older guy, probably in his late 50s, early 60s, white hair, wearing military uniform, much like Miss Mesa, but the buttons are undone, so you can see his t-shirt underneath. The chest is just covered in decorations, and he has a huge pistol on his hip. He looks you can, if you're familiar with this celebrity, then you can look him up later, whatever. He looks kind of like Werner Herzog, but with huge white sideburns.
Nice.
And he comes in and he looks at Higgs and he's like, "Captain Higgins, you're in my chair."
Oh, I'm sorry. What? You know my name. I don't know how to pronounce yours. What is it again?
So he's walking over, and with every step, his boots click on the deck floor, and he says, "I am Mr. Ossevery. This is my ship. the hardened heart. And that, my friend, is my chair.
Okay, all right. I didn't know that. Well, anyways, it's nice to meet you, sir. Where's my chair?
Do you stand up?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, he walks over to you and he puts his hand out.
yeah. I shake his hand.
Okay, he grabs your hand and like pulls you into him and like hugs you and like claps you on the back. And he's like, "No need to worry. I'm not here to harass you. I just wanted to have lunch and ask you some questions. Please." And he gestures back to his chair and he's like, "Have a seat. I will sit with your crew."
Well,
Oh, he
Prospero
is
just,
strange.
like,
I
nods.
like it. He's different. Ooh, I like that.
all right. I'll sit down.
Okay. It's a super comfy chair, even though it looks like a scary throne of bones.
Do
And
I
he
fit
walks
like
over.
very smally in the chair? Like, is the chair much
I
bigger
mean,
than me?
he would too. He's not a huge guy.
Oh, okay.
It's totally just ostentatious. Like it's there to just look fancy. He's
Gotcha.
like, so as he's walking around the table, he starts telling you the story about the chair, right? Where he's like, as they say, is that chair came from Earth. Have you heard of Earth before? And he like is like walking over to his seat.
This chair from Earth?
Yes, the place that we all came from back in the before time.
I wouldn't have ever been to Earth, right?
No one knows where Earth is. Most people probably don't even know. Like it's like, have you ever been to Neverland before?
Gotcha.
Well, just so happens.
Gotcha. I'm just like, well, that's cool. That's cool to be sitting in a chair from Earth. I'll tell my friends about that one. Thank you, sir.
So he sits down and starts like putting food onto his plate and gestures for you all to eat. He says, "So, which one of you is science officer of the Swan Song?"
Do we have a science officer? Which one of y'all is the science officer?
I don't say anything, but I just kind of look at the Frenchman.
I believe that your science officer is no longer with us.
And then I bow my head.
It's a sore subject,
Well, I'm sorry then. Loss.
but I hope you are.
Loss of a crew member is never easy. Even on a ship such as this, I keep very close record of
I mean,
everything.
I'm going to be honest with you, sir. We don't even know if he's dead. He's supposed to be in a stairwell somewhere or something. We never saw
As
the
he
corpse.
says that, split screen to, again, in a running position, it crumpled at the corner of the base of the stairs.
Just
Head
slowly
just splattered into
moldering.
the wall.
It's like significantly drier than it was last time we
Like-
saw.
Like 8 or 9
This whole
seconds.
conversation, just split screen, there's his body just splattered against the wall.
Eventually, it'll just be a sad skeleton gnawed upon by rats.
There's like
Never
there's
an
like
easy thing.
a little group of mice like nesting in his shoulder. They look very cute, and he's like,
Shriveled up. Gross.
Quietly hear a conversation above this. Is anyone going to clean that shit?
So he says to you, I guess, Prosper, he's like, was this a combat loss then?
this was actually before my time with this one song.
You.
He nods. Very well.
Yeah, Prosper's on tryout period right now. We don't like his voice, so we try to make sure he doesn't talk too much. But it's basically
They have a thing against accents. It's very, very xenophobic.
it's not
Yeah.
really. And I mean, I keep Piani around. She has an accent. It's really the fact that I just don't fucking like you, Prosper. But that's neither. Look, we're eating dinner with Sir here. All right.
So he's like chuckling through this whole thing, and he's like, "Yes, I like your banter. It reminds me of my own youth. I served on a ship such as yours before I joined the society. Those were good times." And he like kind of like looks off into the distance.
I'm like,
I don't have a history with him at all, do I? Right?
No, you just know him by reputation, and if he heard your name, he might. I mean, definitely he would know you by rep.
Yeah.
but I guess we shouldn't be. I have food in my mouth, about to like chomp down. I put the fork down. I'm just like, I forgot we didn't do introductions. I'm Wilbur Higgins III, the captain. We've got Prosper right here, the idiot Frenchman that we keep on board as a test subject for.
Bonjour.
Yeah, he'll make himself known. We've got Jose Cook over there, my man, at the end of the table. I point to him. I'm pointing to Mr. S. And then Miss Piani Pick over there as well. She is.
Just imagine Piani at this point like has so much food in her mouth that like her cheeks are puffed, and she just
Chipmunks.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, he like looks and like nods at each crew member down the line, and then he kind of like looks back at Mr. Sakarian, and he said, "I'm sorry. What did you say your name was again?"
It's Jose Cook.
He looks over at Higgins and says, "Yes." And then you can hear him like adjusting to his fake Sakarian again. He goes, "My name is Jose the Cook."
We
And he
call him.
smiles.
Look. I'm gonna be honest with you, sir. We call him Jose Cook, but he is the cook. We don't know his last name. We only know his first name, which is Jose.
It is very important to keep your people fed well. I hope. And he like locks eyes with you the whole time. It's like, I hope that this meal is up to your standards, Jose.
This meal has been very fulfilling.
So I think he eats a little bit, and there's like a little bit of kind of polite conversation where he asks you about the ship and like some kind of like captain small talk basically. And then he says, so this package that you are bringing aboard the ship, Miss Mesa says it's very important. I understand it would be very helpful to us. Do you know what's inside?
No, I don't really want to know. That's kind of the business. We just transport goods. You know how it goes. Or maybe you don't, but that's how it goes.
Good. I like this attitude in a courier. We may have use of you in the future for this kind of work.
Okay. Well, I mean, we got a lot of jobs lined up after this one, but we'll definitely. I mean,
but also very expensive.
Yeah. I mean, we are. We are. Yeah. It's true.
And so he turns and looks at Piani. So you are the ship's accountant then?
Well.
Well, I do have the most money on the ship, but I'm not the accountant.
Well, as they say, he who has the gold makes the rules, yes?
There's something like that.
So he, I think that like rather than like every obnoxious question that he asks you, the conversation always leads back to like, oh, where have you been, and like what kind of things have you seen? How forthcoming are you with him about like the weird stuff that you've seen in the sector, or do you kind of keep it to the chest and like are just like, I don't know, we're just smoking?
I don't keep anything. I answer truthfully to anything he asks, except about Mr. S.
Okay.
Or anything else that we have on our ship?
Yeah, is there maybe another thing you don't mention?
I mean, it depends on how he asks. I mean, I'm not just gonna be like, by the way, we've got this fucking AI on the ship
By
named
the
Pi.
way.
Yeah,
But
by the way.
it just
By
depends
the
on
way.
if it comes up and how it comes up.
Okay.
Way to game the space master.
Nice.
Be like,
Balls
fine.
in your court, Adam.
well, that's
Yep.
funny because the next
Yeah.
question,
Actually, it says, so how do you feel about the AI? No. So, I wish that I knew the one long word in German that was artificial intelligence. It's 46 syllables. So, I think so. He's partway through telling you a story. Again, like he comes back to like talking about Earth a lot, where he's like, mentions like that he's like met historians who've like told that's his favorite thing to talk about. And then at some point partway through the story, you hear the ship's like automated computer system announce like spike drive activated, and then the ship like jolts hard, and he gets this concerned look on his face and like looks at you, and then he's like, "Excuse me, gentlemen," and he stands up, and then you hear another announcement like, "Time to destination, 19 hours." And he like walks out of the room, and you're all just like alone in the room now.
They're going to be dessert.
Yeah, we got hey. He's walking. I was like, we got dessert. Is it coming?
So
that was very
we're
unexpected.
all of a sudden headed in a destination where we have no fucking clue where we're going.
Could Prosper like do perception to see if he was truly weirded out by that?
You would be but with wisdom, because you're reading emotional context.
Yeah, sure. I'll just roll my 2d6.
An 8? Yes, yeah, that came as a surprise to him. He did not.
Yeah, I just remark. I say, it seems as this was unexpected. I wonder what has happened.
I mean, ships tend to jump on. It happens. I've done it.
Is there
Peony, can you
Yeah, is there a
confirm that
terminal?
everything is all right?
is there like any sort of terminal nearby that I could just look at, bring up basic system?
Yeah, if you go over to the door, I mean, you might have to try to bypass like the login, but yeah, there's a like wall terminal by the door.
I go to the wall terminal.
Okay. So as you're walking to the wall terminal, you hear again, like on the alert, you hear medical deck, astronautics deck, armory inaccessible, life support offline, atmosphere venting, warning, warning, and then like as soon as that happens, like the yellow alert goes off, and there's like a klaxon, and yeah.
As
Oh.
that happens, I bolt up then, and I guess would we have carried on like air breathers or anything like that? I don't think we would, right?
You might have something on the ship.
Yeah, I mean, we'd have to probably book it back to the ship, I think.
I would look at the crew then and say, gentlemen and Miss Piani, I believe it's time that we get back to the ship.
Is this I stand up, like get halfway out the table or halfway out of the room, look back at the table and go back for like one more piece of meat.
Monsieur Cook, would you like to take point? I can take up the rear.
I think
He
he's
kinda
saying
looks
you
at
go
you a
in the
little
front
bit.
and then
Yes.
he'll go in the back. That's the battle plan.
Thank you, Mr. Higgins. I think that's correct.
No problem.
Very well. Follow
we-
me. Click, 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 click.
Okay.
There we go.
So you're gonna head for the elevator.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Did you want to stop and get a system like check, Piani, or do you want to do that later?
Can I at least bring up like the ship schematic to see where the areas are in comparison to where we are?
Yeah. Make a computer test.
Did I raise my computers or did I decide not to? Or did I need one more point? Sorry, I have to check. I did. Yeah, good job. It's a smart decision. Okay, +1. Oh, shit.
All right. Okay. Yeah. You can bring up a schematic of the ship. You get the like deck plans. Yeah. You're pretty high up. You're like, several dozen decks away from the from where the Swan Song is, down in the docking bay. The closest thing to you would be the bridge of the ship.
That this alert is going off in?
Well, I mean, the alert is going off like ship wide because several docks,
Right, but
several
the
decks.
three, the
Yeah, but-
armory, the three, are they like in one area?
No, they're just three decks that suddenly, like, you look at it and they're like flashing and they're like life support offline, and you can see oxygen levels like dropping on those three decks.
And we would have to go through those decks in order to get to the Swan Song?
Nope, no, you can take the turbo lift straight there as long as the turbo lift works.
Okay. I mean, I obviously share. Can I put that on my compad?
Yeah, you can transfer it. Sure.
Okay. So I've at least put the schematics on the compad as well.
Mhm.
And I
Okay.
share share the data with the team.
Alrighty. So you guys are all like around where Piani is plugged into the system.
Yeah.
Okay. Where to?
Is there any way I can like pour over the schematics and chart as safe a course as possible back to the ship?
Define safe.
Just where you won't hurt us, Adam, mostly. Right?
Yeah,
You see several large GM stamps on the map. Can you just want to go around them?
I've designed a conflict here.
So like I want to avoid try to avoid the decks that are venting atmosphere and avoid any areas that are obviously off off limits. I don't have any way of contacting Buckshot, do I?
No, you don't have any direct way.
Yeah.
Has he accepted his Facebook yet, or is it?
Are you friends?
Yeah, are we Facebook friends?
No, you didn't friend request him before lunch.
Is there any way of indirectly contacting him?
I mean, you could somehow patch into the like overall comm system and just start shouting for him. Be like,
Monsieur
Buckshot!
Okay. No, I just want to chart a course that's not going to take us to restricted areas. That's also not going to take us through the venting decks.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. I guess you're looking to roll tactics for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Higgs, if you want to help with navigation, you could do that.
I also
Alright,
have
help with
tactics.
Yeah, or tactics. Anyone who has
Go for
tactics.
it, Higgs.
What it is?
So it's standard roll. If you can get 7 or better, it gives a +1.
Are they
to-
both int based?
Yes. Yeah. Pouring over the map would be intelligence.
Okay, I'll roll tactics because I have 1 in it instead of the 0 in navigation.
Okay.
That's a +1, right?
If you have 0, it's just straight, and then it's your whatever your intelligence is. If you do hit the skill roll macro, if you added that, it'll walk you through it, or you can just 2d6 plus your intelligence bonus if you have one, and your skill bonus if it's not 0 or -1.
Gotcha. 9.
All right, you get a +1 on your roll there.
8.
Okay. So as you're looking to like try and find a way, like again, the direct route is the safest way. Like if you just get in the turbo lift and go, it'll take you straight to the docking bay. But if the turbo lift isn't functional, there's a series of essentially like air ducts and maintenance hatches that you can use to navigate the ship. It'll take a lot longer to get there, but you won't be like out in the open for most of it. You can chart a path.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So I lead us straight to the turbo lift and look to see if it's online.
Well, before you get to the turbo lift, the ship again like jars slightly, it like rattles, and then the ship's system like alert comes on and it says fires detected in the barracks. Barracks offline. Life support at 4%, and like bad things are happening on the ship.
Do we see nobody? There's just this thing going on.
Yeah, I mean all the servants are somewhere else, and the captain left and just left you in the room. So.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so the turbo lift does appear to be active.
Is there a queen alien inside of it when it opens?
No.
Okay.
Definitely not.
I get to the turbo lift and I push the button that says Swan Song.
Okay, so to docking bay.
It's got a rainbow and it's a swan song underneath it. Just
Yeah.
Okay.
Swish.
So you get in, the door closes, you press the docking bay button, and it starts to go down like it's like beep, 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 and then the numbers start dropping really fast, and you all feel like you can feel the elevators just like plunging now. You're like almost in free fall.
Adam.
All right, I've been in this situation before. With the moment of impact, all we got to do is jump.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You're at the elevators like going.
I float over to the panel and I push emergency stop.
Emergency stop. Okay.
Yeah.
So you jam the button. Everyone in the elevator needs to make a physical save.
What the fuck?
It's just a flat d20.
It's a d20, yeah, flat, and you want it to be
This
over
first one's
the.
Piani. The most.
Okay.
Piani rolls a 14.
Oh, there you go. I'll let you hit enter so that I don't control your fate. Oh shit!
That's how I fucking do it.
Yeah.
That's how I got it.
Wait, so
Prosper's fine.
everyone's. Do you save Piani?
Adam's like, you
I
needed a
got
20.
14.
So
Yeah, it's on your sheet. It's whatever that number or higher.
Oh.
What's your
Oh,
sheet?
it's on my sheet.
I just want to know if
Oh,
everyone's about to
physical.
save except me.
Yes.
Everyone's
That's a
about to save
13
except
I
me.
saved. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
if it's 13, you got a 14. You're fine.
This is not a skill check, so I can't re-roll this, right?
Right, just a save.
I'll get.
Oh yeah. So Prosper, here's what happens. Prosper
Oh,
jams
I
the
didn't show
button.
the rolls.
I'm assuming that the elevator stops.
Yeah, just like jams.
So like, fucking Sicarian like lands on his feet. Piani lands like on her feet. Prosper lands on his feet like, and just Higgins just pancakes.
Higgins lands on the chicken bone and it squirts out of his stomach or something like that.
Higgs was pinned to the roof and just falls flat on his face. Like a second later, if we were looking at it from the side, you all drop in like 3-point drop like Iron Man, and then he just falls from the ceiling.
I just start laughing uncontrollably.
Higgs, you take 3 damage.
Oh, I'm really laughing hard.
He has like 18 now, doesn't he? Or something?
I have
like
19
It's
HP, yeah.
that? My God.
So you get mildly bruised on the floor of the elevator, and the terminal, like the thing reads. Let's see. So where you fell, it reads engineering on the readout.
I think back to the schematic that I put into my eidetic memory.
Did you
And
have character points for eidetic memory? Do you also have missing one leg?
Help, Adam. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
I
saying.
took the
Help
missing
me.
one leg for the eidetic memory. And I'm trying to remember if there is an easy way to access those shafts and vents.
Yeah, engineering. If you need to access a shaft, engineering is the place to do
There
it.
we go.
Excellent. All right, let's go
Optimism.
straight down engineering's shaft. Mr. Higgins,
And then back
engineering's
up.
shaft is this way. We can take it all the way down.
Yeah, I'll be right there. Just I need a second. Prosper.
Piani, your
I help him up, by
your
the way. I
comp
help Mr.
starts
Higgins.
to ping.
Okay, I immediately go to it.
I help you up, Wilbur.
Insert. Okay, so everybody's getting up. The door is like jammed shut, so you'll have to like pry it open. But in the meantime, so Piani, yeah, you've got a message from the Swan Song. Like someone is trying to call you from the Swan
Okay,
Song.
I pick it up.
Okay. So it's Connor, and he's like, "What the hell is going on?"
I had no idea. We were eating a nice dinner, and we fucking came down this turbo lift, and oh my god, I'm gonna tell you the story about Higgs sometime, but now's not the time. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And-
Look. Okay. So Swan Song going a little crazy. Can
What
you
do you
hear?
mean going crazy?
Can you hear this? And you like he pauses, and you can just hear Pi repeating the phrase "he's awake" over and over and over.
Caliente. Caliente.
Wait, is the device that we were transporting the
Do we hear
box?
Piani's conversation?
Yeah, I'm right
you
there in
can
the elevator,
You can hear it
right?
over the comm. You just hear.
Then
Pi
yes, as
saying,
Piani like
"He's
is like,
awake.
what? I
He's
look at him
awake."
and I say, that is the device.
Yeah, but where is the device? It's on their ship.
It's on their
It's not
ship.
They
on
took
our
it off.
ship anymore, right?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. They took it off the Swan Song.
We need to get out of here and have Pi make sure that that does not get on our ship.
So yeah, are you saying that to Connor via?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like it's a stressed Sicarian, not yell, but
Yeah,
stern father talk loudly. You know,
Well, I mean, you've led troops into combat
Yeah.
situations before. You know how to tell people who are panicking what to do.
we need to get off this ship now and make sure that it does not follow us.
Okay, so he's like, okay, Mr. S, I will lock the door until you get here, and I will fire up the engines. Just make it quick. So I heard something about drive activation. You know we can't just drop out in drive space, right?
We know this, but we have to do what we can. So.
I didn't fucking know this.
I knew that.
Yeah, I knew that,
Everybody who-
Piani. You
Everybody
fucking
who
idiot.
knows this, raise your hand. Yeah. Yeah. So Connor's like, I can try and work something out, but chances of us blowing up the ship, like 70-30 right now. I'll look at it.
Blowing as a ship may actually be better than what is going on right now. I actually, so Prosper, as they start talking to Connor, Prosper steps over to Mr. Higgins, and he just like reaches into his jacket pocket and he pulls out a flask. And he unscrews the lid. He takes a long pull. He hands it to Mr. Higgins, especially like as Prosper hears Pi in the background going, "He's awake, he's awake, he's awake," or whatever. I just hand it over to Higgins. I say, "Monsieur Higgins,
What's in there?
it's bourbon."
I don't
Bada
drink
bing.
that. I don't drink that shit. Get that away from me.
Lying sack of garbage.
I just kind of like I like shake, and then I like look at it for a longer, and I just keep shaking my.
And as the stress escalates, it cuts to like a 24 segment break where it's like got the 20 dun dun, and then one of the squares is fucking Steven's old character crumpled in the corner.
One of them's ossuary, just like freaking the shit out. One of them's us, like Higgins, just like
We are so fucked. We are so fucked.